I still remember the exact second my heart stopped beating in my chest and started bleeding on the floor. It was the night before my little sister's wedding, and her fiancé looked me dead in the eyes, smiled like a shark, and whispered, "The greatest wedding gift you could ever give us, Elias, is to vanish. Just, poof. Gone. Forever." And I smiled back. Because I'd already decided to give them exactly what they asked for. My name is Elias Kane. 40 years old. High school vice principal by day, professional extinguisher of other people's fires by life. I keep a drawer full of protein bars for kids who forgot breakfast again, a folder of college recommendation letters I'll never be thanked for, and a mortgage on a little duplex I bought so my sister Lena wouldn't end up sleeping in her car. I thought I was the safety net. Turns out I was just made myself the perfect mark. See, 5 years ago Lena was 19, freshly heartbroken, freshly jobless, and freshly convinced the world owed her rent money. Mom was drowning in medical bills she hid under couch cushions like dirty magazines. Dad had checked out years earlier, somewhere between the third beer and the fourth apology. So I bought the duplex. One side for me, eventually, one side for whoever needed it. Lena moved in for 3 months. 3 months became 3 years became 5. I paid the water, the heat, the Wi-Fi, the busted water heater, the new roof, the inspector called, non-negotiable. I told myself it was love. Love doesn't send invoices, right? Marcus with the perfect hair, the rented Lamborghini for the proposal video, the podcast nobody actually listened to. Marcus who called me Big Bro while he borrowed my lawn mower and never returned it. Marcus who posted photos of Lena on rooftops with captions like, "Building an empire, one queen at a time," while I quietly Venmo'd Lena money for groceries. Last month he slid into my DMs with a Google Doc titled, "Wedding Registry 2.0. Top of the list, quitclaim deed to duplex, poetic full circle moment." I laughed so hard I almost dropped my phone in the toilet. He didn't. 2 weeks before the wedding, I caught them measuring my living room with a tape measure, 4 furniture ideas. I came home early and found Marcus on the phone with a title company, giving them my social security number like it was his. Lena stood behind him painting her toenails, humming, pretending she couldn't hear. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat on the back porch of the duplex, listening to them laugh through the thin wall, and I felt something inside me calcify. Not anger. Clarity. The morning of the wedding I woke up calm. Dangerously calm. I showered, put on the charcoal suit I'd bought specifically so I wouldn't embarrass Lena in photos, and I signed the papers I'd had drawn up in secret. At 9:17 a.m. the duplex was no longer mine. Sold. Closed. Done. Buyer, a nonprofit that houses rookie teachers who can't afford the city on $38,000 a year. Price, $50,000 under market. I ate the loss like it was communion. At 2:47 p.m. I handed the venue coordinator a box of 200 thick cream envelopes. One for every guest. She raised an eyebrow. Anything I should worry about? I smiled the way people do when the bomb is already ticking. Just paper. The ceremony was perfect. Lena floated down the aisle like forgiveness in white lace. Marcus cried on cue. I stood in the front row and clapped when everyone else did, because some performances you finish even when your soul is screaming. Cocktail hour. The string quartet. The champagne that cost more per bottle than my first car. And then, the envelopes opened. It started as a murmur. Then a gasp. Then Aunt Ruth's unmistakable, "Well, I never." Marcus noticed first. He hates when the spotlight leaves him. He snatched an envelope off the nearest table, ripped it open, and the color drained from his face so fast I thought he'd faint into the ice sculpture. Inside every envelope. A single page. My handwriting. No shouting. Just facts printed in calm, merciless black ink. To the guests who came to celebrate love. For half a decade I have paid the mortgage, taxes, utilities, and repairs on the duplex my sister has called home. This was never intended as a wedding gift. Today, at 9:17 a.m., I sold it to a nonprofit that provides housing for underpaid teachers. Marcus and Lena will need to find new accommodations. The proceeds have already been donated in full. A scholarship for future educators in our grandmother's name. An emergency fund for students facing eviction. A grant pool for paraprofessionals chasing their teaching credentials. Some will call this cruel. I call it the first boundary I have ever set that nobody could guilt me out of. If you need proof, scan the QR code. If you need context, ask the groom why he tried to put my house in his name 2 weeks ago. Wishing the couple all the happiness that can be built without theft. Elias, the room went dead silent except for the violinist, who heroically kept sawing away at Pachelbel like a man playing on the Titanic. Marcus stormed across the parquet, envelope crumpled in his fist, face purple. You think this makes you a saint, he screamed, loud enough that the mic feedback squealed. You think embarrassing us on our wedding day makes you a hero? I didn't raise my voice. I just looked at Lena, beautiful. Trembling, mascara already surrendering. You wanted me gone, I said quietly. So I left. The house. The bills. The role of human ATM. All of it. Congratulations. You're finally free of me. She whispered, you ruined my wedding. I almost laughed. No, Lena. You ruined us. I just stopped paying for the privilege. Marcus lunged like he wanted to swing. 2 groomsmen grabbed him. Half the guests were filming. The other half were scanning the QR code, watching the donation receipts populate in real time. I turned to leave. Lena ran after me, barefoot, train dragging through spilled champagne. Elias, please. Where are we supposed to go? I stopped. Looked at my little sister, the one I once carried on my shoulders through the county fair because her legs were too short for the rides, and I felt my voice crack for the first time all day. Somewhere that isn't built on my spine, I said. And I walked out into the sunlight. I didn't disappear the way they meant. I disappeared the way a man does when he finally stops setting himself on fire to keep everyone else warm. So here I am. Sitting in my new, tiny apartment. 1 bedroom. No spare keys. No second mailbox with someone else's name on it. And I keep thinking. If someone had done to me what I let them do for 5 years, I'd have called it abuse a long time ago. So tell me, because I genuinely don't know anymore. When the people who are supposed to love you most treat you like a resource instead of a brother. Do you owe them forgiveness? Or do you owe yourself survival? If this was your family. If this was your wedding. Would you have signed the papers? Or would you still be paying their light bill while they laugh through the wall? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And for the first time in years, I sleep with the lights off.